Hey everyone, it's Jessie. For today's tutorial, you're going to need some yarn, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a crochet hook. And a tape measure is optional. For this infinity scarf, I used Lion Brand Mandala yarn. It is 590 yards, 100% acrylic, machine washable and dryable, a light 3-weight yarn. I am using a 6mm crochet hook. The color that I chose for this scarf is the color Dragon. This scarf is made with the rocking stitch, also known as the Trinity Stitch. The first thing we want to do is leave a long tail, and then we're going to do our slip knot. Now throughout the project, as you're crocheting, you'll want to remember not to crochet too tightly. We are going to chain 28 chains. 28 chains with a 6mm hook ends up being around 8 inches. So when we start crocheting our scarf, we're going to lose about 1 inch. So our scarf is going to end up being about 7 inches wide. We're going to be working into the back loops. And the first thing we're going to do is single crochet 2 together. So we're going to skip this first one and we're going to go into the second chain here, the second back loop. We're going to yarn over and pull through, and we're not going to finish that. We're going to go into the next back loop of our next chain, yarn over, pull through. We now have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops and then chain 1. Now we're going to single crochet 3 together, and we're going to go into our previous chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. We'll then go into our next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and we're going to go into the next one, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you'll now have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 1. We're going to do another single crochet 3 together, and we're actually doing that all the way till the end of the row, and then at the very end we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So we're going to go into the previous stitch that we just went into, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we'll go into our next one, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we'll go into the next. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So you're doing that until you have 4 loops on your hook. You yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and then chain 1. We'll do that again. We'll go into our previous stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now this first row here is always the trickiest, but the rows after this will get a lot easier. All right, we'll go into the next back loop here, pull up a loop, and then we'll do it one more time to get those 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 1. All right, we'll go into our previous chain here, yarn over, pull up a loop. We'll go into the next one, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We need 1 more loop, so we're going to do that one more time here. Put our hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 1. So you'll always be going into that previous chain and then the next 2. So go ahead and do that all the way till you get to the end of the row, and then you'll have 1 chain left. Okay, we are at the end of our row. So now we'll want to do a single crochet 2 together. We'll put our hook into that previous stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we'll put our hook into that last back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop until we have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then you'll chain 1. Turn your work. Okay, we're going to go into our first stitch. This does not count as our first stitch, that was our turning chain. So here's our first stitch here. We're going to put our hook through there. We're doing a single crochet 2 together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, And then find your next stitch here, and we're going to go in there, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then chain 1. Now we'll start this single crochet 3 together. We'll put our hook through the previous stitch here, yarn over, pull up a loop. And if it's hard to see where your stitches are, you can turn your work here and you'll see these little V's. All right, so now we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up another loop, and then we're going to go into the next one until we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 1. We'll go into the previous stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We'll go into our next stitch here, yarn over, pull up another loop, and then we'll go into the next one. We have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 1. Put our hook into the previous stitch here, pull up a loop. We'll go into the next stitch, pull up another loop, and then the next stitch. Pull up a loop. We now have 4 loops on our hook. We'll yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 1. Go ahead and continue that single crochet 3 together all the way till the end of the row, and you'll have 1 stitch remaining. Now we're going to be doing single crochet 2 together. So we'll go into that previous stitch, pull up our loop, and then we'll go into that last stitch, pull up another loop. We'll have 3 loops on our hook, so we're going to yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. Then we'll turn our work. We'll do a single crochet 2 together again. We'll go into this first stitch right here, pull up a loop, and go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on our hook, chain 1, and then now we begin our single crochet 3 together. Go into the previous stitch here, go into the next stitch. We've got 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to go into the next to get 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 1. So at the beginning of every row, you'll be single crocheting 2 together, and then you'll single crochet 3 together until you get to the very end, and that's where you will do single crochet 2 together. And you're going to continue that pattern until you get the scarf to the length that you would like. I now have my scarf the length that I would like, and I wanted my scarf, the infinity scarf, to wrap around my neck twice comfortably. So I made mine about 75 inches long. Now you can make yours as long as you'd like. If you only want it to wrap around once, go ahead and make it shorter and just keep trying it on as you're making the scarf. So when you get to the very end of your scarf, we are going to chain 1 and then loosen that up just a little bit here. What we want to do is we want to leave a tail. So in order to know how much yarn to leave for a tail, I like to leave a little extra. I'm going to take the yarn, go bring it to the end of the scarf here, bring it back to the other end, and then we're going to do that one more time and bring it back here. And that's where we're going to cut our scarf. Or not our scarf, we're going to cut our yarn. And now we'll go back to this loop here, and we're going to just pull that all the way through. And then take this and pull that down tightly. You'll then want to take that end and match it up with the other end. And make sure that your scarf is not twisted anywhere. You'll then take your yarn needle, and we're going to take that yarn that we just cut. And we're going to put that in our yarn needle. And then we're going to line up our stitches here at the very end. You'll be able to see the V's. So we're going to line up those first V's, and then there's the second, and so on. So we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to go underneath that first V, over to the other side underneath that second V, and we're just going to pull our yarn over. Pull that tight. Then we're going to take it and go back through this side underneath the V, underneath the next V, pull it over, and we'll do that again on this side underneath those V's, and then through this side. So you want it snug, but not like too snug, because if you pull it too tight, you see how it crunches it up a lot there. I just want to kind of loosen that back up. And this is what we're going to do the entire width. We're just going to keep going back and forth on each side. So go ahead and continue to do that until you get to the end of the row. Okay, so we're at the end of our row. If you open up our scarf, now if you don't like that little dip on the very end here, what I like to do is put my yarn needle through another stitch and then just put it through on this side too. Because if you do that, it's going to bring those ends together more, and you might want to go, let's see, one more time here. Just kind of put it through some stitches, and that closes it up a lot nicer. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to weave in our yarn. And then I like to come back a second time and then go through a third time, just to make sure that yarn sticks in there and doesn't come back out. Okay, so now that we did that, you'll want to take your yarn needle off, and we're just going to take our scissors and we're going to snip that close to the other yarn without cutting it. So now you can go ahead and take that other string of yarn and do the same thing. Just weave it back and forth a few times and then snip it off. Once you get those ends weaved in, you can then turn it inside out, and you now have yourself a beautiful infinity scarf that you can add to your wardrobe or gift to a loved one. If this video was helpful, please give me a like below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.